I'm wondering if you maybe struggle with painting landscapes, because today's video is all about more beginner tips for painting landscapes, some of those basics, maybe some other things that you might not have considered. And today we're painting a beach landscape that I actually filmed about 2 months ago, and I'm so excited we finally got to it. There is a voiceover. There were some fireworks happening in the background. You might hear them even though it's a week earlier than 4th of July. But as we're painting together, I want you to consider relaxing your body, relaxing your brain, just focusing on what you're painting, no matter how it turns out, having a great time. And let's get to painting today. All right, friends, I'm excited about this painting. As I'm kind of choosing brushes here, I'm going with this 3/4 inch flat brush and a number 8. And those will be the brushes we're using today for our gorgeous landscape painting. Oh, if you want to use a liner as well, or like a real thin brush, like maybe a number 2 for details, highly recommendable. Let's get to painting. So I've got my 5x8 sketchbook piece of paper, my sketchbook here, and I have, as I'm wetting down my paints, I have taped down all the edges of this paper so that you're going to get a beautiful clean border with your painting. So you don't have to do any of that. I did realize here as I'm doing the voiceover now, right? But as I was painting this, I realized I needed to clean up that space. There was just a lot of green happening and I wanted to kind of start out fresh. So, all right, guys, here's what we're doing. This painting has a lot of texture in it, and we're gonna try to emulate that. It is a painting I did in my Italy retreat last year. Link is down below in the description if you want to, by the way. Get on my registration wait list for October 2027. Anywho, linked in the description. Or if you want to come with me to Scotland, I've got like 2 spots left. We're going in August, just saying, you can take a look. I'm doing a quick sketch here with my pencil, just so that I know where things are gonna go roughly. Now, of course, everything changes. I never keep everything the same for one reference photo to another, but we're doing this kind of like half circle situation where we've got and it's looking really funky, but it's gonna make sense, friends. But we're putting in the ocean water, and we've got a little bit of those mountains there, and then we've got a little bit of shore. So take your 3/4 flat inch wash brush, and I've got a very smoky purpley blue color. We're just gonna go and make these little swoopy motions. You know how I do the swoop for my flower petals? Well, we're doing the swoop for the sky today. So this does not have to be perfect in any way. And in fact, I challenge you not to make it perfect, and I challenge you to make it different than mine, but just back and forth, swaying that brush. You can always pause, by the way. I do paint fast, and I realize that. Pause, slow down the speed, friends. I think that'll really help. So I've also added in a little bit more of that color, wet on wet, just to darken up that purple, blue, that gray. And you can see I'm leaving a lot of white space. I love a brush like this for landscapes. It just ends up creating such a natural look that I really love. And it's very artsy and beautiful too. So now we're gonna start putting in our water. So selecting a color that you wanna use. I'm using this turquoise color in kind of a medium tone or medium value, not too light, not too dark. So we're just doing that horizon line, and then we're just quickly kind of, swishing that brush back and forth to fill in that space where we've added in the pencil outline. And as our fireworks are starting to go off in the background here, because our neighbors are just such fun, we do love the fireworks, and you're going to hear some. So as you're hearing them, you can just celebrate with us, even though we're super far from 4th of July. But I'm just going back and forth with that color. Now wet on wet, adding a little bit more darkness while it's still wet, because why would you wait for it to dry? This is gonna give us some beautiful texture, some blooms. I actually really love that. And I'm also adding to that loose look where I'm moving fast, friends. I'm moving my hand fast, the brush, and that helps me not to just overthink the process. I think I did a little splatter there, which I don't really see it too much, but I guess I thought it was a good idea when I recorded this. So I'm just kind of smoothing it out, allowing that paint to just do its thing, and then we're moving on. So I did dry this, and now we're gonna add in our green sections, the foliage. This is a green gold. If you don't have it, just take a sap green, medium green, whatever, add some yellow. Then you could add some brown to your green for a more olivey color, and then add some blue just like I'm doing here. And you're gonna have that nice dark value that you want. So that really yellowy, then the medium and the dark. I just added some brown, so now it's a definite more muted color. How am I doing this, friends? The point is to just mix some greens, and whatever happens, happens. Maybe every time you do a little swirl mix and the green is different. And that's the beauty of it, because it doesn't have to be the same and it doesn't have to be perfect. It's a pretty thick paint, you can see there. So what I'm doing is I'm using the brush sideways and I'm just dabbing and making some trees. These little trees or bushes, just dab, dab, dab. Also, I decided to do some there and that corner. Again, it'll make sense when it comes together, but you can use it to just kind of press, and then just kind of dance the brush up and down, that vertical, or maybe a little diagonal like this. But just kind of working that brush. I encourage you to paint fast, friends, and see what happens. You're going to loosen up your paintings because you're going to be going fast, and your brain is not going to have a chance to overthink and judge your painting. So we've got a myriad of greens and browns in that, which is kind of cool. Just double dipping the brush there. And now I'm going to take some of my lighter greens and using that brush kind of left and right on the flat end and just putting in some greens. See how I just dab and kind of just dance my brush left and right, and whatever happens, happens. Grabbing some brown here. We're going pretty thick. We're not really starting with a light value. We're just going in dark and deep colors. And then I'm just running the brush parallel, you know, and just kind of skitting it around. So a lot of this is, you know, a really fun way to create a landscape. But I was supposed to give you tips today, so I'm going to do it now. So that first tip you probably saw already, but it was definitely use a light pencil sketch. If you're wanting to have these tips that every beginner should know for landscapes, the first one is use a pencil sketch. Lightly mark the horizon line, the shoreline, major elements, and then you know where to place things. As I'm starting to continue with my greens and my browns, as we are celebrating with the fireworks in the background, which are so beautiful, I can see them out my window right now. As you are doing that, just know that we're going to kind of put that wet on wet, you know, brush action to the test here, as we're just dabbing in different colors and seeing how they spread. My second tip for beginners is to use a unique brush for your sky. So today I used a flat brush. You could use a dagger brush. You could use a filbert brush. Really any brush that you don't normally use if it's not around. It's kind of unique. And see the shapes that come out, and maybe you actually enjoy that looseness of your sky even more. So I've got a very light kind of tan color, and I'm just dabbing in that beautiful shoreline. Friends, seriously, pause the video, slow it down. I painted so fast, and I can see that now. So go ahead, and you can do that, and so you can catch up. I'm going to just kind of dab in that darker brown, that what do you call it, tan color, so that we can get a beautiful wet sand look right by the shoreline where the water is meeting the sand. Just dabbing that in and see what happens. So once it's dry, I did dry this for, you know, just time's sake, and now I'm going in with that 8, and I'm just going to start darkening up, adding in some texture in the water. So I start with that parallel line there and kind of, you know, skid my brush back and forth. I did dab it on the paper towel so that we can just have a nice little, maybe a dry brush happening where it's not too soupy on the brush. So back and forth, just kind of put in those dark marks where you feel it should go. My third tip for watercolor beginners for landscapes is to have a focal point. So maybe it's a beach umbrella, it's a lighthouse, it's some, you know, pile of rocks, a palm tree. Over here we've got, you know, just those trees there. With that kind of mountain, and so having that will give interest to your painting. Okay, so at this point now I'm getting some really dark concentrated brown because I want to darken up what I already put down, so we're getting more a look of maybe, you know, some rocks on, or some boulders, you know, on the shoreline in this picture. Again, really, really quick. Sometimes you can zigzag your brush left and right and kind of add in some lines. Sometimes you do some dabs and you add in some more distinctive shapes. My fourth tip, though, is, since I'm on a roll here, is to make distant colors lighter. That is really important. And so something that's really far away, like a mountain, you're you're going to want to do really light compared to a mountain that is more in the foreground instead of the background, or kind of in the mid area. And so lighter, it looks like it's recessed, it's farther away. Darker looks like it's up close and yes, closer to you as the viewer. So I'm just doing those little dabs and dashes. I love playing with different shapes, doing horizontal lines and vertical lines and some like squiggly bits, maybe doing some dabbing, some little tiny round shapes or bigger shapes for bushes. Now we're using that really thin brush. This is a liner, going really dark with the paint, and I just flick from the bottom up to create, and I'm sorry my hand is in the way here, but to create some cool little bushes or grasses that are showing up here. It just gets more of that realism in your painting, something that I really love and appreciate. And so I'm just doing those flick marks. Some of them can be really, really long and others can be shorter, especially if you're going more in the distance. You want to make those lines shorter. Now you can go back and forth, more of that horizontal line to add in just some fun marks in the ground. But if you want to have like these grasses, of course you want to do these lines that are vertical also. And so I love to have some nice grasses really tall right at the front, and it gives more of that focal point as well. I really love how this turned out. This is something I painted probably a couple months ago, getting ahead of myself, but I'm really pleased. Back and forth, like I said, you can do that just to darken up on the shore. That got really dark. That's okay. The dark and the light really helps. The dark values and the light values and the mid values help to create that depth and that real look, the realism, the pizzazz, and all these details really help with your painting to pop off the page and not to be flat. So my fifth tip is don't overwork your painting. So one of the most beautiful things about watercolor is that it's beautiful, it's fresh, it can be light. And I would say when you aren't sure if you should stop, that's always my cue to stop. So I'm passing that on to you. All right, getting some more dark brown. I really like to darken up my edges, especially if there's a water line, because that really gives that depth and helps things stand out. Some of those shadows and things that you see at the water's edge. You know, as I'm looking at this painting, it almost looks like there's a little hut or a little house in the background there. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me know in comments if you see what I'm seeing. I might just need some glasses today. But again, always looking for depth. Where can I add something in? Where can I make something look more intense? So that I've got the light, the midtones, the dark. But don't worry about it too much, friends, because honestly, I just paint with my gut. I paint with my emotions, what I'm feeling, and that's what I want to pass on to you. Okay, so a little extra bonus here. I took a peach pastel. You could use a crayon, same type of thing, and just adding in a little pizzazz. I'm really into mixed media now, adding in pencils, colored pencils or pastels or markers, whatnot, over my watercolor just for a little extra kick. So you don't have to do that part. Ooh, that was a big one. But I wanted to do that because I thought it would be fun. A little bit of white I'm adding here. Not sure how much it's going to show up, but it's actually looking good. It's a little light white, right? So just a little bit extra for that foaminess and frothiness that you would see when you're at the ocean. And now this is a color pastel. I don't know if a white crayon would show up in the same way. Colored pastels, that's not it. Wax pastels, and they do show up a bit darker. They're creamy and lovely. So take off the tape, friends. You are done with your painting. Remind yourself that your painting is unique to you. I hope you found lovely joy today as you painted with me. I really enjoyed this landscape. I like to change it up a little from florals to landscapes, and maybe someday other stuff too. If you want to do more things than just those two things, especially maybe more landscapes, fruits, veggies, maybe some other types of things, then you can click my Patreon link down below. And that is where there's exclusive content for my members. I'm also doing a lot of mixed media over there too, and it's really a good time. So the other thing is I have a free class coming up on July 2. Yes, this Thursday. So you can find the registration link down below also. And I like to tell people, sign up. It is a live online class. If you cannot make it live, there will be a replay. For those that sign up, we will send it to you after, I was gonna say after the show, after the live class. And anything else that you're wanting to learn, I have linked below, different resources, my website, supplies that I love. Friends, happy painting, happy mental health, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Mwah.